Alright, we are back. Going to be getting into our winners match. Roxas versus Xylo. Get another ZVZ, but really no surprise there considering there's 3 Zerg in the group. There's going to be a lot of ZVZ for the next couple of groups. Our first map's going to be Inferno Pool, so we're going to see that map for the first time. It's nice. Actually ready. They're talking about Xylo he's quite pumped at the moment. No, Couchy, no. You're still muted, by the way, but no.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't encourage it, saying I'm pretty sure we're going to get them in 2 days' time. So let's have a swarm post free day today at least.
Oh yeah, with 1 HP and Stark.
1 HP player. Yeah.
In our next group, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting swarm posts.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, but match is counting down. Awesome. Who you got? Who do you think's gonna win this series?
Roxas, hands down. His ZVZ is pretty good, to be honest. His micro is really good in ZVZ. I think Xylo is gonna play a little bit non-standard just to try and catch Roxas out. I think that's his best chance.
Especially
Xylo is very good.
Starting on this map, no, it would be no surprise to see him do something kind of silly to start off with, given it's pretty much impossible to actually wall off at your natural quickly. So we'll see. Spawning here in the little bottom left of Infernal Pools, our blue Zerg player from Team Unrivaled. It is Xylo.
And in the top right, in the pink, also from Team Unrivaled, it is Roxas. Yes, I think the vetoes really told a story. I think Xylo got rid of all the real close by ground maps, so he can kind of stem Roxas's aggression as much as he can. I think that's where he wants to at least try and get to the late game, see if his macro can get him there. I think if it's a micro battle, Roxas just kind of wins those a lot of the time. In almost every ZVZ I've seen him play. I don't like playing ZVZ against him at all. I don't like playing against him at all, actually. I play mech pretty exclusively in Terran, and he beat me when I was playing mech with Ling Banling. Just outplayed me.
Just out macroing, out macro to an extent. We're able to beat mech with that composition is pretty insane. So that's rather telling. I mean, in that game number 2 against BCX, that was pretty much what he did. He just got up to 5 hatcheries, just those 3 bases, or actually 4 bases and 1 extra macro hatchery. He didn't really need the 4th base. But he did use it somewhat, at least for the hatchery itself, and all those queens injecting like mad. Just rolled over his opponent, so we'll have to see how that translates to a ZVZ. Both players just starting off with a hatch first play on both sides of the map. No surprise, this is a very, very large map, and it's kind of really awkward to actually get through the middle of this. And even just to start to find your opponent, it's a really strange map. I haven't seen a lot of it. Obviously, a new map for this season. And it has turned out some interesting games, but as I was kind of alluding to at the very start of this introduction, was this ramp at this natural it's so difficult to wall off, not to mention the fact that as a Zerg player it takes a while. It takes maybe 2 tumors to actually get over to where you can star walling it off, so it's a long time for you able to actually do anything defensive wise for your own natural base. So spine crawlers would not be a surprise to starting off early near the hatcheries if the other players see something coming. And so, I mean, Roxas, if you were watching those last 2 games, I mean, he got a little beat on what Xylo does in ZVZ at least, and I'll have to see how he's going to respond to this. And right now, Xylo's opened up the same way he opened up in game number 1, going hatch first, but going directly into a gas and then pool, so super fast speed. And he's not looking like he's going to pull out a gas here, so maybe going into the banelings once again.
Yeah, really hard map for ZVZ. I had a ZVZ on this map this week, and it was the most nightmarish thing to prepare for, because it's 2 different maps. If you get cross positions like this, then it's just you're forever away from your opponent. But if you spawn horizontal, it becomes almost impossible to take a 3rd base, and the rush distance is so tiny. You don't have time to get a build out before you see Lings flood out of the base. It's a ridiculously weird and hard map to play, especially ZVZ as well. You can't open gastless. That's kind of suicide in this matchup, on this map especially. It's a fun map as well because it is different. A few Lings coming across the map. They'll take a couple of minutes to get there.
it will take a while, and by the time they get over, this Bane Nest as Halo is thrown down is going to be finished, but we do see the defensive Bane Nest thrown down for Roxas as well. It's going to be if he's able to defend this. I mean, we saw Xylo do this in the first game against Smiley. If he's able to, maybe control his Banes a little bit better in this game, I have a better time against Roxas here. It's kind of depending. Roxas has pulled 2 drones out of gas. He's not going to make a ton of Banes defensively, but so he's going to have to defend and use any Banes that he does make very, very well. Otherwise, he's going to be in a rough spot. But we do see 10 Lings in production here for Roxas, and they are rallied across the map. I'm not sure if he expects Xylo to not really have anything defensively. He hasn't seen the Bane Nest. Actually, 3 Banes being morphed in over at this Watchtower Roxas, and both players may actually move across the map on either sides of each other. Whether or not Xylo will leave any Banes back home for defense, actually going to a lair. So that's a thing.
Yeah, these Lings have gone unspotted as well across the map. Xylo's got no idea. He's moved his front Overlord into the main to get a scout off. So it's going to come down to microing on both fronts here. There is 4 Lings for Xylo, which Roxas turns around a couple of his own Lings. Lings are flooding into the natural of Roxas though. Queen, good hold position by the Queen on the ramp, but it's going to get surrounded now. He will lose that Queen. A few Banelings. They're hunting for the mineral line. A couple going off on the Queen though, it's far from ideal.
So many low health drones now. Most of these drones are red. And Xylo's actually just called GG there. And I'm not sure what the early lair was for. I mean, the way he started that game, it looked like he was going to go for that Bane push again. And if he had done so, actually made a few Lings and made a few Banes, he probably would have been able to defend that. But he skipped Banelings for whatever reason and decided to go to lair. I'm not sure exactly what his plan was for that, but it did result in a rather quick game number 1 there. So Roxas will take a 1-0 lead here in this series, and I've already forgotten map number 2, so I'm glad I put it on Wikipedia. It is Catalina. I didn't write it down. I don't know why I didn't write it down. I have the pen and paper in front of me that says maps for this series, and I didn't actually write it down. So, but it is Catalina. We're getting into that lobby here, but I'm not sure. Like, what was that layer supposed going to be for?
Like maybe Muta, like. I don't know, or Nidus maybe, like I don't know. I think maybe he was banking on like the cross positions that he might be able to get away with something like that.
Yeah.
His Overlord it moved out at the wrong time, like at the worst possible time for him. He took his front Overlord to try and scout Roxas's main, and didn't see the Lings for the longest amount of time.
It was really awkward. I'm not sure. I just don't know what Xylo was planning to do there. But we are going to get into map 2. We are counting down for game number 2 here. Maybe Xylo will have a bit more of a thought-out plan. It's kind of like you start something and then decide you want to do something completely different, but by the time you decide you want to do something completely different, you've kind of pigeonholed yourself into doing the first thing anyway. And he's pulled out a little too late. Which usually results in pregnancy, so not the best of decisions there for Xylo. We are in game number 2, spawning in the top right position of Catalina in blue from Team Unrivaled. Does need to win this match to force a game 3. It is Xylo.
And at the 9 o'clock position, in pink, he's up 1-0, looking to get out of the group in first place. It is Unrivaled's Roxas. Both players scouting the right way first, which is nice with their overlords. Going to find out where each other are right away, which is good.
I'm still intrigued that we haven't seen any early pools yet in any of these EVZs. It's only been 3 games so far, but this is game 4, and we're going to see another not in early pools yet. So kind of waiting for that to happen, but I suppose at least Roxas has got to feel comfortable in his playstyle to be able to handle anything that is thrown at him, just going for a macro build. So he's just going to default to that and then kind of leave it to the other players to figure something out. But there, as I say, that we do have an extractor coming up first from Roxas before a hatch, before a pool, before anything. So he's going to want to get his speed out very quickly.
13,
and so he's
13,
got 13,
12.
12, yeah. So this is going to be extremely powerful. I think Baneling Ling push, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very life build, like words. Roxas is kind of well known for this. He does this a lot in games. So I think Xylo might be expecting this, to be honest. He does go the 14 pull, the 15, 16 gas. So he's going to try and hopefully defend against this, but it's a really hard push to defend against.
Yeah, it definitely comes down to that early micro ability, which, as you were talking about earlier, Roxas is apparently well known for. And he's going to have a lot of money right now. He's got 3 larvas saved up, 4 lings to get up immediately. And I mean, Xylo's going to get in and see that this is coming. He's going to see the gas as long as he's able to click on it. And it doesn't run away immediately. So he's going to know how much has been taken. He knows that speed's already on the way, and that's got to have some alarm bells for him, at least. He's already mined 200, or almost. No, it's only 100 some odd gas. So maybe this isn't actually going to be Baneling. Okay, there he puts back in gas. I'm not sure if that was actually, may have just been to trick the Overlord, actually, that he pulled out of gas there. It's intriguing.
It could have been. I've never really done this build in ZVZ too much, to be honest. I'm not sure. Roach Roaring is a response from Xylo, though. That's what he's going to try and use to defend this, which it could work, to be honest. If he can get some favourable trades with the Roaches against Banelings.
Yeah, the problem right now is there's already a lot of lings on the map. It is only 6 at the moment, but there's going to be a few more going to be joining this, and then once the Baneling nest finishes, it's going to be whether or not the Roach Warren is actually able to finish, and whether or not Xylo's going to have even the money to use in this. He does have 128 gas, so he's got a lot of gas that he can actually use. So he's going to be able to make 3 roaches immediately, which he does do. With these lings already here, drones being forced to microbat a little bit probably help out the queen in defending, but so far a decent hold here for Xylo, and if he's able to actually get these roaches on the ramp, I'm pretty sure 3 roaches alone can block a ramp off, and he's actually got 5 on the way total, so he should be safe from this. The problem being Roxas has pulled out of this, and he's going for that hatchery. That is natural already.
Yeah, Roach is pushing down now. He's got 5. He's got a bunch of lings as well. And there are slow lings, but Roxas is going to try and get a cancel on this hatch. He does force the cancel as well. Does lose a few lings. Gets out with 3. Xylo retakes that hatch, it a little bit. And Roxas has already started building drones. He's already got a 5 drone lead. Building a couple, 10 more lings. Seeing this army of Xylos here. Hasn't moved out across the map yet, which Roxas does see. But just staying nice and safe. A few defensive banelings. Just realizing that the hatch is super delayed, and he does have a drone lead and a hatchery lead at this stage of the game.
Overlord from Xylo trying to run its happy little tails away as quickly as possibly can. It was getting spit at by one of the queens, and I mean, it's a lot of lings on the map right now for Roxas. And he's maybe trying to push in here and maybe just run past this army if he's able to. Once again, he's going to try maybe to get a cancel off. He's going to try and swing around this. He's going to get into the main base, and there isn't really anything up here. There's the queen, obviously. Drones are whole position, but still a lot of those are going to go down. Already 2 have been killed, but this whole position from Xylo, it's really, really nice because it just bugs these lings out. It's so hard for them to actually kill a lot of workers that way. Only 2 do go down despite that many things getting into the main. So it's a pretty decent trade there for Xylo.
Yeah, lost a fair few lings. Only 2 drones. He won't mind that trade, I think. There's a few roaches here, which are kind of useless. You can't really push across the map with them. So they're slow roaches. Speedlings will kind of just take out low roach numbers. So he has defended though. He's going to try and macro out of it, even on drones for the moment. Xylo takes a brief drone lead.
Yeah, both players are just trying to transition out of their early gameplay attempts at aggression, at least. No speed yet for Xylo. He does have that started. We do already see a lair on the way here for Roxas, and he's got his own Roach Warren finishing up, and is finished up actually. So he's got everything he wants to decide what he wants to do a little bit later in this game once he actually is able to scout and see exactly what Xylo is doing. So, if Xylo decides to take a 3rd base at some point, I imagine Roxas will pounce in, and until then he's probably just going to defend for a little while and get up whatever tech he wants to get up himself. Just not necessarily sure what that's going to be. If it's going to be Roach Hydra, if he's going to try and go for something like the Spire play, since he did go for those early lings. But at the moment, looks like it may just be Roach Hydra. Given this one Evo Chamber coming down right now.
Yeah, there's a few Roaches out for Roxas as well. It's looking like that's going to be the case, I think. And still, not all Folk Gas guys is taken either, which is usually the sign of Spire. I think Roxas is probably just going to play Roaches from here. Roach speed started as well, confirming our suspicions.
Yeah, +1 on the way for Roxas's Roaches as well, so he's going full out on that, and he's starting to make a lot of those as well. He's got full saturation here as natural with those 2 gases, full saturation in the main with one gas as well. So really nice economy rolling right out for Roxas, and for a little while he's probably just going to start making a lot of units, taking out one of the scouting overlords there from Xylo. Xylo is trying to push across the map. He's got 15 Roaches right now, and he's got a lot of Lings in production behind this, but there is well, not really a wall, but there's a couple Queens. There's a Spine Crawler up top on top of this ramp, but it is a lot of units coming out for Roxas or for Xylo right now. If he's able to get a decent amount of trades, here, it may have caught Roxas joining up a little too hard, but I think the defense is going to be just a little bit too easy here for Roxas. I'm not necessarily sure at the moment, though.
He was supply blocked at the worst time then as well. Really couldn't build Roaches at all. These reinforcing Roaches might be enough to push this back, though. He might have to fight with some Queens. Might lose a Queen or 2. I think he should hold once these Roaches pop, though. So almost a bit of trouble there for Roxas. That supply block really hurt him. Could have defended that a lot easier, I think.
There's a lot of Lings out as well for Xylo now, and he's not stopped his aggression. He's only at 28 drones, so he has to get something done. If he's not able to actually get much done, he needs to get up top with the Lings and then get surround on the Roaches, which he's trying to do, but Roxas realizes that, pushes those Roaches back as far as he possibly can, refusing to get surrounded. And Xylo is just the Roach numbers now is so much in favor of Roxas, 15-8, and he has the defender's advantage being right next to his base, and he's got the economy advantage, 41 workers to 27. He's got speed advantage for those Roaches. Xylo does not, so all of Xylo's Roaches are going to die off. There's some Lings trying to help out, but Lings against Roaches are not going to work out too well. +1 is finished as well for Roxas's Roaches. Xylo's trying to take a 3rd base, but that's spotted by Roxas, so he's going to be able to walk over there, cancel it. He can even just cancel it with whatever Lings he has, if he even has any. He could just go for the kill up into the main base. He's got +2 on the way. Xylo's trying to make some Spine Crawlers, but that means he's just still not making workers right now. And this 3rd base has no chance of finishing up right now.
Well held there from Roxas. He's taken a pretty commanding position here. Has the army lead, has the drone lead, and pushing up here if these Spine Crawlers finish will be difficult, but I don't think he's going to let that happen.
Yep, going to push in right now. The GG comes out of Xylo, so Roxas will go ahead and move on. First person to move on to the round of 16 for the CSL, so congrats to him. I guess actually we'll switch the scene, it might help a little bit. So congrats to him, and awesome. Couple quick ZVZs, well, actually 4 quick ZVZs, honestly. No surprise, it is ZVZ after all. We do have a couple more matches to go. We do have the losers match coming. It's going to be BCX versus Smiley B. And then after that, we will have Xylo versus whoever wins in that 3rd